This question comes in from Stephen Kennick, who writes at patreon.com/filmpodcast. This is a good one. I like this one. Do you guys use a neti pot when you get a cold or a sinus infection?
I've never.
For those who don't know, a neti pot is basically a little pot where you mix in like salt. You're just really feisty today, Jeff. It's a neti pot where you mix in an isotonic solution, like that's like matches the salinity of your body, and then you put it into your nose, and then you kind of tip your head over, and then the water flows up into your sinus cavity and out the other nostril, and that's what a neti pot is. I have been using neti pots for probably at this point 15 to 20 years.
Kudos to the person who came up with this idea, by the way.
Yeah.
I wonder if I just stick some water up here, what'll happen?
That seems like some primeval shit right there, dude. It's
it must be.
I mean, how did anything in society come to be? You know, like
some idiot tried a thing.
Cow's milk. Like, who is like, hey, I'm gonna squeeze these things and just eat whatever comes out of them.
Look,
you know,
we learned. You look at the other animals. You're like, okay, we figured this out.
No, I feel like
water up your nose.
Food. The answer to food is always desperation. It's like, how did somebody think to eat a crab? Well, there was literally nothing else around. They got a crab and they smashed it, and
delicious.
They found some. You know, like it's always desperation.
Explain sticking water up your nose. At what point does that become?
Okay, to be fair. So first of all, I strongly believe in neti pots. I love neti pots. I think they're awesome.
And it's for the brain viruses. Yes.
Okay. First of all,
the one downside of the neti pot.
Okay, Okay, let me finish what I'm saying. Okay, first of all, I don't use the neti pot. I used to use the neti pot, like the actual physical pot, but now I use basically a neti squeeze bottle. Like, and the idea is that I've talked to the ENT doctors, and like the idea is that like it forces water up there and like cleans everything out, and it's better than just like pouring it.
Oh, it sounds terrible.
Okay, you're asking like what was desperation? The desperation probably, Jeff, is hey, my sinuses are all plugged up. I wish I had a physical way of.
I will literally pour anything into my head to make this stop. Right?
Yeah.
I saw Hassan Minaj's The King's Jester on Netflix recently. Great special. I was going to talk about it on the main show next week, and there is a scene where he describes it's a storytelling monologue basically, and there's a scene where he describes his daughter having like a face full of snot, and so he takes a straw or some implement and like literally sucks it out of her face.
I've done that many times with my kid. You have these little squeeze things that suck it out. I did that with my kid.
It's the same concept. It's like that.
No,
for
it's
adults.
the reverse of that.
Coming out. You're getting stuff out.
It's literally couldn't be farther from that. It's the opposite of that.
The main concept is you're taking physical force and like forcing something out of your sinus cavity, right?
Yeah, not into my sinus. That is the entire issue that I have with it. Is it's the in instead of the out.
Well, unfortunately, Jeff, no matter how many times you ask, I am not going to suck the snot out of your nose. Okay, so we need
have little devices for that. One of my favorite devices
that would improve our
for my baby son is a little thing. You stick up their nose and sucks it out.
Yeah,
you don't have to physically suck it.
Why don't they have this for adults?
They do. I believe they do.
I guess I literally have never heard it being mentioned as used for adults before.
Well, because we know how to blow our nose.
Yes,
a kid doesn't have any idea how to do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes. Okay. I guess what is this blow your nose thing that you speak of?
That's what all this
using a
issues
neti
are
pot
for.
because he had no other ideas.
Okay. So in all seriousness, yes, Devindra, people have died from brain bacteria due to neti pot.
Yeah, however, I'm not joking. I'm just saying it's a thing.
However, that's because they use water from the sink. You're not supposed to use water from the sink.
Oh, I'm not supposed to use water from the place I get water from.
You use distilled water. Okay, use distilled water. And
I've never bought distilled water in my life, but yes, I have heard this. Yeah.
This is fascinating to me because I literally have, I'm not joking, like a whole, at any given time in my bathroom, like a whole set of distilled, like gallons and gallons of distilled water that that I use not just
For everything,
neti
for
potting,
everything, for
for
brushing
everything,
your teeth,
for everything, brushing your teeth.
taking a bath.
In all seriousness, this is for another health issue I have.
Okay.
I have a CPAP machine, and it's
Yeah.
better to use distilled water
Yes.
than the CPAP machine.
And
So
I do know if you use humidifiers, it is probably better to use.
I'm just constantly surrounded by distilled water. So the
Yeah.
idea that
Someday-
you've never bought one in your life, I'm like,
Yeah.
Someday when the detectives enter your apartment, they're gonna have a real mystery on their hands, damn it.
This man died next to 15 gallons of distilled water. Like, what could it be?
You should be the
serial
healthiest
killer
person on earth.
The serial killer is sending a message. He wants
Give you
everything
all
to be
the
pure.
clues. They give you all the
everything to be pure.
clues. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I strongly recommend it. It does prevent sinus infections when you have a cold, like when you're all congested and you flush everything out with a neti pot. It does help, is what I've been told, and that has been my experience.
Let me ask you this question, in all seriousness.
Yes,
is it an unpleasant sensation, just purely from the not like, oh my gosh, it feels better because it cleared it out, but like the act of doing it sounds to me, as somebody who's never tried it, sounds to me highly unpleasant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's probably as unpleasant as like putting in contacts for the first time. You know, you put in contacts, you're like, oh well, that sucked. But then, you know, after you do it 100 times, which I have with the Neti Pots, you know, it's like, oh, it's very normal. Like it's a normal
It's an
thing.
Acquired taste.
Yeah, all those people that love putting in the contact lenses, it's their best part of their day. Okay, so I take it from the tone of this conversation that none of you have ever used Neti Pots.
No,
I've never had to use it. My dad does use it because he also has sinus issues. So I honestly, I'm lucky because I think once you get to the point where you need the neti pot, like, yeah, that must suck. You'll do whatever it takes. That is probably the thought from the first person who was like, I've tried blowing, I've tried everything, I've tried sitting in steam, you know, for several minutes, which actually really helped me this week. But yeah, I'm just gonna try this. I'm gonna just try this and see what happens. Also, we do understand humans have understood our anatomy for a while, like, you know, so I'm sure somebody had figured this out, like from the days we were pulling brains out of noses, you know. So yeah.
The hook. I'm definitely a fan of the humidifier. I'll go humidifier.
Yeah.
That's how far you're gonna come when it comes to moisture being forced up your nose.
I think so.
That's as far as you're gonna go.
Just sit in a hot steam bath. Yeah.
Well,
I used to have when I was a little kid, I don't think people use them very much anymore, but my dad used to always have like a saline solution that you know,
same deal.
I hated it because you immediately like taste it in the back of your throat.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a friend, and this is going to sound like a bit, but it's true. He had a friend evidently who was addicted to it and would use it all the time, and it gave him massive health problems.
Yeah.
So it scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Well, there's a thing called Afrin, which is addictive, and you should not use it. Like, I do not recommend.
I don't know. Like, again, this was when I was a little kid, so I don't.
Yeah,
it could have been.
Afrin has what I'm told is obviously I spent a lot of time looking into this. So Afrin has something called a paradoxical reaction where you squirt some stuff Afrin up your nose. It makes everything clear. Like it makes you can breathe again.
But it creates a paradox?
No, but then like after it wears off, like it becomes like more inflamed basically than it was before.
And then you kill your own father.
Okay.
You go back in time with your own father.
Anyway, here's what I'll say. 1 out of 3 Filmcast hosts recommend the Neti Pot and associated products. And also, this podcast should not be a place where you get any serious medical advice. So those are the things I want to impress.
Or any advice for anything at any time.
100%. That was a clip from the Filmcast After Dark. To get access to the whole episode, go to patreon.com/filmpodcast. You can sign up for ad-free episodes as well as exclusive After Darks. You can find the regular podcast at thefilmcast.com. And of course, like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.